So the issue, we do not commit such an act as a Muslim. The Prophet would organize the Jews, they pray because of love. When Muslims love one another, we have to love our brothers. He said, our brothers, our distant brothers are the Christians and the Jews. The only differ in some aqidah that they associate Jesus Christ or give divinity to Jesus Christ. That doesn't mean they are not humans. Doesn't mean they are not part of the Abrahamic faith. So I condemn such acts. Now, let's come to the statement of the President Donald Trump, saying that he is coming to attack those terrorists. Yes, we discovered that we only bite what we chew. We cannot bite what we cannot chew. Now, the kind of irony of this situation is that the same US, for example, who sponsored terrorism in the past, are the ones saying they are coming to fight terrorism. It is strange. They funded terrorism to topple some governments who are oppositions to their policy. Now, why are they coming to say they want to bring an end to terrorism in Nigeria? It's not possible. The Boko Haram is an infiltration or a networking from the Al-Qaeda. The Boko Haram started in 2002 by Mohammed Yusuf. He was a graduate, but he came to say that special education is haram, is forbidden. Someone who did PhD coming to say the Western education is haram, that everyone should be at home, study only Islamic studies. If we do that, we are so myopic that we will be excluded from the world, because the world is advancing every day. Who brought that idea? Who planted that idea? The same people to make sure that they have some kind of differences in political terrains in Nigeria, so that there will be some kind of factions. And this group, this Boko Haram, started from Muhammad. They were going as far as bombing churches to instill some kind of fear in the minds of the people, to give the Muslims a bad image. They were being sponsored. That's why in Boko Haram, which the real name of Boko Haram is called Jama'atu al-Sunnah wa Jama'a al-Da'wati wa Jihad. This is the coin name they gave to themselves. When Muhammad Yusuf was killed by the police, Shakarau took over. It was said Shakarau took over. Muhammad Shakarau was the one who created a lot of havocs in the name of trying to protect this Boko Haram's heritage that he took from this master, Muhammad Yusuf. So he fought, he did a lot of things, kidnapping and all that. All this, they were paid in dollars. Now imagine, how can a terrorist be paid in dollars? That means they were being sponsored by some big authorities, some networking. Even the Al-Qaeda started in the 1980s at that time. Who started it? It was started by a man by the name of Abdullah Yusuf al-Azam, who was a mentor of Osama bin Laden, who is one of the Saudi nationals, a very business mogul, who was being trained when the US saw that he has wealth, who imparted his wealth into the building of Al-Qaeda from the Taliban, who were residing in Afghanistan. They saw that the Soviet Union were a threat to them in the 70s and the 80s, the early 80s. They were a threat to Afghanistan. And US wanted Afghanistan's wealth. This is how US started sponsoring terrorism. They wanted the wealth from Afghanistan. So they saw that the Russians are coming, or the Soviet Unions are coming, who were the leaders of the Russians at that time. They were coming to take over Afghanistan and usurp their oils, which is their own mentality. Out of greed, the US supported this group. They were Talibans as freedom fighters, people who are in the states, because that's how they labeled them. They supported them, funded them to resist the Russian and the Soviet Union forces. That was what grew the power of Osama bin Laden and Abdullah Yusuf al-Azam. Was a lecturer, a Palestinian lecturer, a scholar. So we see that It started that time. This same group grew in power and led to fight the Iraqi at that time. When Saddam Hussein was the president of Iraq, leader of Iraq at that time, and Iran was coming up after the removal of Shah. And Khomeini, who was one of the leaders of the revolution at that time, the Revolutionary Guard, Islamic Revolutionary Guard in Iran, for fighting for reviving or revamping Iranian Islamic heritage and removal of the Shah, who is a close ally to the US. The Americans were angry. How can someone come in to say that he's an al-Khomeini and just a man who from the Shia Council coming to take over Iran, who is to be an enemy in future? They push the narrative to plant more terrorists, and they sponsor them, mounted their guard in Afghanistan and Iraq. And that time, Saddam Hussein was a strong ally to America, at that time, the president at that time. They will support more, sponsor more terrorism. Saddam Hussein was part of it. That is the birth of ISIS in the future. ISIS came up by Baghdadi. All these were the formations of Americans' intelligence in their defense department, or because the defense department in America, they are working in hand with the NATO. The NATO was sent to the Asian side, the Arab side, to cause disorganizations in the Arab world between the Muslims and other non-Muslims, to create fear, to give wrong image for the Muslims, to say Islam, terrorism, they are intertwined, they are the same, they have synonyms. That when you hear Islam, you hear terrorism. They created it. The same American, when Barack Obama, when he sent Hillary Clinton, they will spread food and some logistics, send them through the border of Syria to topple Bashar Assad by use of the same ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, being created by Baghdadi, who will kill human beings, like cut off their heads, play with their heads and chop up a lot of young children. It was said that they have committed that and they killed over thousands of people. Children were killed, all in the name of protecting their political interests. This person, why now they are coming to say they want to fight terrorism in Nigeria? No, it's not. They have an Indian agenda. Because they see that Tinubu himself, the president of Nigeria, is not going with them. Because he has come against them supporting the opposition, which is China, Russia, and Iran. Because he has visited those countries, learning from them their political policies and their economical policies to build the economy of Nigeria. Because of this dollar inflation, he never supported it. He removed the subsidy in dollar last 2 years before he became president. And today, dollar is depreciating, so they are not happy. They want dollar to rise, to go up, so that we Nigerians will continue to suffer by buying things expensively. So we are not self. I'll come to the next episode to explain some little things about terrorism. How it started. It did start from the Islam, it started from the Europe. Thank you for many studying on this platform of Islam. Thank you.